Hey guys, in this video I actually want to talk about what things are always great to have. Of course, it depends on every person. You have your own necessities, and as I already was here in Slovakia for I think like 2 months and 3 weeks more or less, and now as well for a few weeks, and then later on maybe I will go other places too. I thought I can just talk about things that I always want to carry with me because someone who has IBS and might have like food allergies, I always want to make sure that I take everything with me. And I'm also entrepreneur, which means that I'm a freelancer and I have my own business. So there are also always things that I want to carry with me. Also for working for my clients. For those who don't know, there are some few things that I do at the same time, not only for learning more about marketing and languages, but also, of course, you also need finances. Everyone needs finances who also wants to live. I mean, that's just simple as that. Everyone needs finances for rent or maybe buying a house, when you have a car and other things for living. You also have expenses for food. You just need finances. And I also wanted to work for companies that also want to do something also for other people. So what I really like is that I'm also a language coach. Beside lifestyle coaching, I give language tutoring classes to students, and the students vary from small little children from 8 years old who started to learn maybe English or Dutch, or until adults. I have a lot of dynamics going on, to be honest, many things at the same time. But actually, if you want to check, maybe I also made videos what you can do when you feel like overwhelmed with a lot of things going on. I made already videos about that on TikTok and YouTube. Just feel free to check. On YouTube I made a playlist of lifestyle, and there are more things about like what you can do to be happy every day, but also like breathing and for relaxation, like a lot of things. Something that for me now is really important to bring every time with me is the laptop, of course, because I also work, so I need a laptop. There's another thing that I want to show you. For me, it really helps, especially because I'm also a content creator, so I also really like creating videos. It's very necessary. And there's something that I do want to advise you because some laptops are different, and let me check where it is. Yes. So it's also good to have like the specific cable that you can plug it in on your laptop. And this one, for example, this one is with USB-C. Like the newer laptops, most of the time they already have USB-C. I honestly prefer the USB-A on laptops because I already tried USB-C and most of the time it just doesn't connect like properly. So I prefer the USB-C. Yeah, I mean A, like we had before. So much better. But yeah, technology change. There's probably a reason why suddenly a lot of laptops have USB-C instead of USB-A. In some cases, I really like the old school stuff. Another thing that I also bring with me, and I have to be frank, I've never tried these wireless things. It's because I really love music and I don't feel comfortable to wear something with Bluetooth, which is wireless, the whole time close to my brain. I don't know which side effects have, in long term or short term. And I've always been like fan of old school, headphones. This is, by the way, not sponsored. This video is not sponsored. I'm just showing the things that I already got myself. I don't know if I bought this or maybe my family member. It's already starting to get bad, sorry. But, I like wearing something until it get really bad and then I will just definitely do that. But yeah, I really like pink and this is like a little bit pink purple, which I really like. The only problem is sometimes with me is that when I go to the kitchen, like when I have this headphone, sometimes it just gets stuck on these drawers. That's the only side of like the down part of hearing, I mean, using this type of headphones. But overall, for me, the health is important. So I think I prefer like this. By the way, not only like the wireless, but I also try to not listen to loud music because I really love music and hopefully I can listen to music my whole life because I also play piano. So I try to put the volume as low as possible. I can still enjoy it, but not too loud. This is also what I advise also for teenagers or anyone. Perhaps you could also check the volume that you have because that can really save you as well for longer term. Not only for now, but also for longer term. When you take care of yourself, also for your ears as well, and for sight, everything, the whole body. I mean, your body is priceless, and it's so good when you treat your body really well. There's another thing that's really good to have. For me, at least, I have a lot of notebooks. That's why my suitcase gets full of notebooks. But yeah, this is, for example, one notebook. And I think I want to make another video about that. Like this 4 months that I've been trying new foods. I tried and drinks as well because also tea. In the past, I also got allergic reactions of tea, so that's and intolerance as well. So for me, also even drinking tea can be challenging. So maybe some company just put some aroma or something like that that I felt sensitive to. So for me, even drinking tea can sometimes be challenging. So imagine. But in these 4 months, I already tried more than 90 things, so foods and drinks, which for me was like, wow, that's a lot for someone who has been struggling with allergic reactions, intolerance reactions, and also fear of them, like fears of food allergies. I make a whole playlist. You can see like I'm on YouTube, and there are still a lot of things that I want to try. But what I want to do every time when I try something, I want to write it down in a notebook, like also the day that I tried, not only for me like knowing if I got reacted or not, but also like what, every single step counts for positive steps, like all steps. And when you can already try 90 things in 4 months, is for me were like really like ambitious, goal that I've been trying to accomplish. Hopefully you don't mind that this video will be long, but I think the experience that I've had like with travel, and I think can be nice for anyone who wants to travel. It doesn't have to be like going for family or for business or school related things like internship, or maybe like you also have this exchange program, but also for holidays. Some people might go for holidays for maybe a month or 2 weeks. I think it's always good to see what's necessary for people who have been struggling with obstipation, and that can sometimes happen. I know this topic can be sometimes a taboo, but I'm here to break the taboos anyway. Not all of them, like I also have a level of things that for me, okay, if there's something that is very taboo, then probably I wouldn't really talk about it. But I also made a video about spirituality, and that can still be a taboo, and also about relationships, more about adult stuff. Those are can also be seen as an taboo, especially in certain countries. What I wanted to mention is that, for example, I have like been dealing with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, which means that I feel bloated, especially when trying foods, and sometimes it's hard to go to the restroom, and it already happened. I know it is not the best that I couldn't go to the restroom for a few days, and after some time, after some days to not be able to go to the restroom, I think it's important. I have like this these pills that you can use, that it gets easier. I think it's called, I don't know if it's laxative. I think maybe it's called like that. But I normally don't want to use those things, so it's only for like emergency cases when I can't go to restroom. And I think for everyone, especially when you go, sometimes it can happen as well when you have to get used to a new place, or you are with school classmates that feels uncomfortable go to the restroom. Then after a few days, I think it is important. Actually, no one should really feel like scared to go to a restroom. Also with classmates, I had it too when I went to Spain with my class. We went for a week. I can't wait a week without going to restroom. It's just impossible. It's not healthy. It's not good. So yeah, I mean, my classmates too. They probably wouldn't say like openly about it that they had to go to the restroom, because it might sound a little bit of taboo still and a bit weird topic to talk about. But on the other side, it's also part of your body, like maybe this topic will get every time better, and people are even feeling more comfortable to talk about even to these topics. I don't know. What I want to recommend is always go to your doctor for advices, because I'm a lifestyle coach, I'm not a doctor. So I think you should definitely decide what feels the best for you. I just only want to give advices based on my experiences, and that's all. And I think it's always good to keep it like, see what really resonates with you and what not. In Dutch, you will say met een korreltje zout nemen. It's like take it like with a pinch of salt. That's what I can only advise. And what I do bring every time with me is one is called Norit, and that is more for people, for example, who have to go to a restroom like more times, because with IBS you don't know. Sometimes you have days of obstipation, and sometimes you have days that you have to go to the restroom more times. It's really hard. In Dutch it's PDS, prikkelbare darmsyndroom, and in English it's IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And I think a lot of people have it. It's getting more common. So it's the same with allergies. It's getting more common. I don't know why. I don't know what happened that a lot of people now suddenly have a lot of allergic reactions. Who knows? Maybe it's the pollution, maybe it's the environment. Who knows? I don't know. But I think I always bring this Norit, and also this, there are some few tubes for this laxative. The thing is that you have to be considering when you want to take the liquid forms. So, for example, of this laxative, in case you can't go to restroom, I wouldn't recommend to take these things just like that. It's only for emergency cases. Me, I try to stick on eating as healthy as I can, and of course, I'm also now learning more, trying new things. So my nutrition is not the best, to be honest. Like, I am also like a bit limited with things, with foods. So that's why I also want to take like multivitamin every single day, just to make sure that I get my vitamins. And the same with cranberry. I made also a video about that, about kidney removal when I was younger. For me, cranberry and multivitamin are just things that I also take with me. That's also actually what I wanted to mention. I forgot to mention is that it's good to also take a backup of your medicines and multivitamins, or like supplements in general. For me, like now, what I take, this is also what I really like, especially like with IBS. I do feel difference. I know I might sometimes be skeptical with things, but since I've been taking probiotics, I feel difference, like better. But now, as I take a new one, because I couldn't find the one that I had in Slovakia before, I feel like my body has to get used to the probiotic. Sorry, I have hay fever, in Dutch say hooikoorts, really strong. But it's allergy for trees and flowers. I have it really strong right now, and sometimes even with fever, it's that strong. Depends really on the person. If you really have like if someone is taking supplements or like medication and you feel symptoms, it's so much better to seek advice from your doctor, though, because then at least because I can just say things based on my experiences, but everyone is different. That's why I also want to mention every person is different, and you may feel with some products they might feel good for you and some they don't. It's for everyone different. So that's why I think if you have concerns, it's so much better to seek for medical advice from your doctor or specialist. Okay, this is something I'm trying to lower the use of hand gel, because when I had COVID, this really impacted me with washing a lot of hands. I actually made a video about that as well, because if when I after I got COVID, it got really extreme that I even used 7 times one hand gel every time before meal. Luckily, it's not like that anymore, but it was not a really nice experience to have COVID, to be honest. Funny thing about it is that I normally don't go out, and once there was carnival in Netherlands, in Eindhoven, and I even didn't go to these crowded places. But I think probably someone had COVID in the bus, and then I got COVID. Just only going to a bus. I was inside a bus, and sorry, I hit something on here. But I only went to a bus, and probably someone who was in a bus had COVID, and then I got COVID because I was walking like when there was carnival. I didn't go to the crowded place, and I was outside. I didn't go even inside the places, and I was not close to people. So I think the only place where I could have got COVID was in the bus. And yeah, so for me, I do want to keep like, is this for me? It feels like safety. I know I've been, as a lesson coach, I learn a lot about like psychology and positive psychology. So I know I try to also just not fall in trap of the tricks of the head. I try to. I also had marketing, and it's also based on psychology. I learned a lot. Like, of course, I still need to learn a lot as well. And I really like learning about the psychology, to be honest, because a lot of things we can just program the head, and that's the good in a positive way. Because the more you're happy, and you can also use positive affirmations. I also made videos about that, to be honest. I think they can be easily be found on YouTube on the playlist of lifestyle. There are a lot of videos that I made about like positive psychology, like what you can be happy. But yeah, for now, I always want to bring like handgel because also when I go out and I touch something that I have no idea, like outside, I prefer to use handgel or these wipes. This I think these wipes for kids, when they want to wash their hands and their face, I think that one are even better, honestly, because I get a lot of like my hands are very dry and sometimes even cracky. So luckily now it's not that bad because I've been using Nivea cream. This is also something what I want to recommend. At least it helps so much for me. And no, this is not sponsored. I've tried different creams. I wanted to get a new one because this one is empty. I just finished it yesterday. And I try to use the cream once a day, especially at night before sleeping, or not every day. It really depends on how cracky my hands are. But as you can see, still need some cream. But this one is already, you see, empty. This one is aluminium from the package. But I've tried so many things, and this one I just return every time back because I've been feeling like this one helps a lot with dry hands, and it doesn't contain a lot of ingredients, which I'm also happy about because as I have like sensitive skin, not only like face but also with my body, and I like also avoiding ingredients that can be harm in general because I like taking care of the body as well. I just use this one, and funny enough, it really works. Also, what I recommend, this one is 75 milliliters. Sorry if it's dirty, it's because of the cream. I have cream everywhere. But this one is 75 milliliter. I think it's also good to check that before you take the flight. What are the requirements of liquids? Because I think, even though this is not really liquidy, I think they consider it as liquids too. So you will have to probably put it in this liquid bag, small ones of maximum 100 milliliters to make sure. And I think it's also good to check your country rules because I'm in the Netherlands and Slovakia, and in Europe, I think it's more general, but maybe outside Europe, they might be stricter or looser. I have no idea. I haven't been outside Europe, so I have no idea. There will be a video about it, but yesterday, that was Friday, the 10th of April, I actually discovered something and I enjoyed it. And, for me, it was really hard to find like hamburgers without sesame and without soy. I found one at Lidl in Slovakia. Man, I'm happy because I like eating this, for example, with cheese or like with turkey fillet. I'm trying things. My cooking is still not good. I mean, I really enjoy cooking and baking, but I know as I've been trying foods, I really love simple things. So maybe for you, if maybe when you are like really used to a lot of herbs and like spices and stuff like that, you will be thinking like, what is this girl doing? But as I'm learning, it feels like a baby that has been trying this food every time. This is how it feels for me. But I'm patient with that because I prefer to take it slow and then build up every time because otherwise I wouldn't try more than 90 things in 4 months. But this I really like because I mean I had to get used to a little bit of the taste. I don't know if it's because of the alcohol or maybe some aroma. I don't know, but didn't find soy. By the way, people who have really allergic reactions, I think it's always good to check the or intolerances. Always good to check the package. Okay, this is something that I do want to advise to everyone who have been struggling with food allergies. When you go abroad, it's always great to check the package. If in case, like in Slovakia, they don't mention the ingredients in English, which is a pity, and in Dutch actually either. In Netherlands, they normally don't mention it in either, like the ingredients in English. Maybe the government from European Union could also maybe change that, or like globally as well, that on all products you will also see the English version. Because yeah, if a Dutch person goes to Slovakia, how are they going to read the ingredients? I mean, yeah. The bad thing is that most of the stores like Lidl or Aldi, they don't have a website with ingredients. Because what I sometimes do, if there's a Slovak word that I don't know, I just checked it. For example, on Tesco, they have every food they have like written on their website, and I just use Google Translate, and I just and I know I'm native Slovak speaker, but some things I don't know. I mean, there are even some things like ingredients in Dutch that I don't know. So that's why I just want to make sure that I know what it is. You know, just that's a tip as well. That if there's maybe if you can scan it, that especially the words that are like, you know, there are like words that have different color. Is because they want to make sure that I think the most 12 or 10 common allergies are, you can find it back really easily. So then at least you can check those ingredients. But if someone has allergic reactions of things that are not common, then I think it's good to see if you can maybe use Google Translate. Maybe there are tools that you can scan. You take picture of the product, like the ingredient in another country. You copy the text, because some tools, they can help you. Because I'm also a content creator, so I'll give you a tip. And they will just, from other words, on the picture, you can like copy it as a text. And if there are some words that they miss, you can always just look it up on this as well, and then just write them down, and then you use Google Translate in your own language, and then at least you know what it is. Make sure that you keep then the package, you know, that you can scan it as well, especially in the countries if you go there and you don't know the language. There's another thing that I can't go somewhere, especially for long term, without this thing, and that's my agenda. This one, I don't know if I got it at Action or probably or Hema. I like having things organized, especially with you know, I have a lot of things going on the same time. I'm working on different projects, and also with giving classes to children or to adults, you know, to students. For me, it's important to have my agenda with me, because I don't know, otherwise I don't know when I have to teach, on which day, and this is something that I definitely want to bring with me. This is something that I keep in my agenda, but I can always recommend to everyone. This is very personal, but this is my bucket list of this year. Yes, I had to make some adjustments, not only because, you know, when I made this bucket list last year, I was in a relationship, but yeah, of course, things went different, and now I'm not in a relationship anymore, so I had to adjust a little bit. You know, a lot of people probably make a bucket list for the whole life. I like making bucket lists every year, because I like this idea that every year you can live your dream life. Not only like, I mean, you can also write the things that you want to experience once a year in this thing, and then you can also make it happen. Because the more you also put it in like more practical goals of maybe from this year, it will be easier to attain things as well and to obtain goals. The good thing is that these things are very good a reminder, because maybe some people start like really good with their goals in January, but now it's already April. That's why good, you know, reminder as well, like, hey, even if you drop things in month of February, March, it doesn't matter, because the good thing is a year has 12 months. You can always work on things that you want to do. You know, it doesn't have to be on January. It can also be in May or in August or whatever. So this is a good reminder that You can always work on things that you want and things that feel good for you every single day, the whole year. I mean, 365 or 366 days, depends on the year. You have every day to live your dream life, not only once, only one day per year when you have this New Year's Eve, you know? So this is a good reminder as well. By the way, every month I make like plan with me videos. It's also written probably in this YouTube playlist, and you can see like maybe some examples. I like doing this every single month to set up goals for the next month at the end of the month, and also doing a recap of the month. So for example, we are still on 11th of April, so there are still a few weeks left, from this month. So at the end of April, I want to make like a video about the goals of the month of May. For me, month of May is extra special because a lot of family members of mine, they have their birthday. I have my birthday too. And for me, the month of May is special because, when you have your birthday, I think it's extra nice to do things that make you feel happy, right? Because you have your birthday once a year. So why not making it extra special, right? I think it's good when you take care of yourself. And perhaps this might sound egoistic to some people. Personally, I don't think it's egoistic when you think, okay, you know what? It's my birthday. I want to make my birthday feel special. You don't have to do that. I like it. It doesn't have to be like expensive and other things. No, it's just this that I like doing things that make me feel happy, and they can be really little thing. For example, I really like eating Twix, and no, this is not sponsored either. I wish it was because Twix, I think you gain a lot of money from it because every time when I buy Twix, I don't know, I've been doing that for many years. So yeah, I think I have a package here. Wait, I will show you. Man, I like this thing. Actually, this also helped me with mental emotional well-being, when I see Twix or Milky Way, I really like it. And no, I don't eat the whole package. These are the smaller ones, right? So I eat a few of them in a day, not the whole package, because yeah, I want to enjoy chocolate, and that's why you can always enjoy also chocolate every single day, but as long as you keep like maybe you eat one or two of those instead of the whole package, man, I don't know how you do that, but I got hooked, like with this chocolate. You just did something. I think it's maybe the combination of caramel, chocolate, and cookie in once. Just three in one. Another thing that I do want to recommend, and because in some countries it's harder to get than in others, and I got them every time really like very cheap stores, for example at Xxx, and those are the highlighters. For everything, I have a different color. For important personal things, I use yellow one. For business, I use either orange or green. And for content creations, I use pink one. And this is also what I did at school. Like, when I had work and I had school, I wanted to make sure that the things for school I highlighted, like with appointments, in a different color than, for example, work. What I do advise you to do if you want to go abroad, but also when you're just stay home, I think it's always great to have like a list of things like packing that you keep in your purse or in your bag. And yeah, so the next thing, I think this is very great. This really saves my this one I got at Action is not sponsored, nothing from here, but this is so great when on my laptop there's only a small, I think there are only two USB ports, and it's now USB-C. So this one I still have to use another tool to connect it. The good thing is that you can plug a lot of things in. So for example, if you want to have like a mouse, computer mouse, or you have other things, this really says. Another thing that I use a lot, I think it's like this corrector. I use it a lot. So this is for me like something necessary. Then my grandfather luckily got me some pens because in his house we found of this, but they were already old, like probably more than 30 or 40 years old. And of course it didn't work after so long time. Actually, surprisingly, there were one or two that worked, and then I used it and then they stopped. So I got a few of them. I think they were also from Action, if I'm not mistaken. This one is called Big BIC. It says round stick M. Very basic pen, I like it. And the other one, I don't know. Doesn't say anything. But I think it's also from Action. Making sure that you have the correct one. Because at the beginning I didn't know, and then luckily I got one that I still needed, but you know, they're different ones. Because at the beginning I got this one. I was like, huh? Why do you have two USB? Because I actually confused the one with from USB A to USB C to USB C. So it's good to check it. And for me, luckily this is good because I can plug in my phone to my laptop immediately. So actually, even though I didn't buy it intentionally, it is very good to have that as well, because this makes it really easy to plug in your phone to this new laptop type with USB-C. I also tried like before, like this thing, because you can also plug it, and then with this converter, this tool that has this USB-C, man, that was not good, because every time it has struggles with connecting the laptop. That's why it didn't work. That's why I don't like this new laptop, because most of the time it doesn't work. But if you have straight this USB-C, it's probably better, because it will probably also work. At least it worked for me with this phone. I'm happy with that. Next thing is, of course, to make sure that you bring your phone. In my case, in Slovakia now I have two phones, because one is my private phone and this one is my business phone. So at least you know I'm recording now with my private phone, but the good thing is I can then show you quickly the business phone. If in case you wonder where I got this case, I think I got it at AliExpress probably. My business phone, if you want to know, it's from Motorola. Actually, both phones that I have, both my private one and also the business phone, are both Motorola. I really like it because it has very good camera. It has 50 megapixel here, and I don't know how much. I think it was maybe 20 megapixel probably. All my videos that I've been creating now for YouTube and TikTok, they are just with my phone. I really like it. And the funny thing is, I'm actually most of the time using my selfie camera. So that one is even like worse than the one from the other side. I just checked it right now. I thought it was 20 megapixel, the selfie camera, but here it says 16. It is Moto G54 and 5G. I don't want to use the 5G, to be honest. I didn't hear good stories about it. I don't know. For me, 3G or maximum 4G is for me already enough. This is something that I do recommend. Well, this is from Post-it, but you can get that from any brand. If you want to be a bit more sustainable friendly, what I normally do is I use them on both sides. It's better for the environment, you know, instead of just using one and then just toss it out. Also, when you have things that you want to toss away from paper, perhaps you can put it in this paper box, because that can be also very good, right? I don't know how this, every country can have different rules, but I know in the Netherlands and in Belgium and also in Slovakia, you can collect, you can separate paper, plastic, and probably also glass, which is way better for the environment. This is not really a necessity, but as I really enjoy every single day, I like using a little bit of perfume, you know, it feels like good. It's just a daily habit for me now. The same like when you use deodorant, I like smelling good. I don't put a lot, just a bit. And this one I found still, I don't know if it's still available though, because this was when I was at probably at primary school or middle school. I don't know. It's from Chupa Chups. Let me know in the comments below if you still notice things for nostalgic feelings. This really brings me like nostalgic feelings, because my mom had still a few of them, like they were like packed, so they were not used. And I think perfume can stay for a long time. I have perfumes for many years and they're still good. I also have a red one, or pink reddish, and purple. I think there were more. Another thing that for me, yeah, I mean, I don't sweat a lot, to be honest. Maybe it's also because of underweight. I like the smell. I normally I actually normally use the one from Sanex because that one doesn't have any scent. This one I like because I like this fresh lemon scent, and I like this roller. The reason why is because as I also use a perfume, I don't want to have few different type of scents at the same time. It actually smells more like a man deodorant than for a woman, but I think this is from general. It says sport, so probably it's unisex. I think it doesn't really mention that it's for women or men. This one I like. The only thing is I think this one has aluminium chloride, right? Let me check. I'm not sure. Do you have recommendation of like drugstore like affordable deodorants that really work without aluminium chloride? Let me know in the comments below because I prefer to have one without that one. This one I had a funny story about. This is good to have. This is a luggage scale, a digital luggage scale. The only thing when I check my weight of the, I mean not my weight, I mean the weight of the suitcase. Previous time when I wanted to go back to the Netherlands and Belgium, I figured out like this one was in, what was it, LB I think. Yeah, LB, not in kilograms. And I saw 20 something or 21 something. And I was like, oh, I can only have like 10 kilograms. But then I figured out it was not kilogram, but LB. I got it, actually my grandfather got it at Xxx. And you can probably get it at any store. There's something that I want to advise you as well when you go abroad. In the Netherlands, normally, actually at many supermarkets or maybe even at all supermarkets, you can get paracetamol everywhere. But people who are from the Netherlands and go abroad, make sure to bring one package in case with you. In general, I think it's always good to bring one package of paracetamol with you. I also bring mine because sometimes it's hard to get paracetamol. I try to use it as less as possible. Normally, I only use it when I have, for example, very strong pain from menstruation or when I have like fever from hay fever, then I use paracetamol. But normally, I try not to use it. This is something that I do want to recommend you to bring with you because sometimes it's hard to get paracetamol. Actually, I have a story about that to tell as well, and that was really fun when I was in Italy with my family about paracetamol. That will come as well. Hopefully, you don't mind that it will be a really long video, but I make also a short version, so you can check that as well if you don't want to see the whole video of more than 20 minutes. In 2019, my parents, me and my sister, we went to Italy, to Rome. Because my sister and I, we haven't been in Rome before yet. We went to Italy, yeah, but not to Rome. And it was a really nice vacation until I got really like fever from hay fever because I think at that time there was this ambrosia. I think I have very strong allergies for ambrosia because normally I have like a strong allergy because it was when I did the test was 100 of 100. So I imagine it's very strong. But when I went to Italy, I was like, whoa, this is very strong allergy because I even got fever from that. Like, not really like fever 40 or 90, 39 degrees, but around 38.2 or 38.5. I mean, I had it last year as well, so it was not that bad. I had this fever, and actually, when I got this fever, my parents, me and my sister, we want to go to Vatican City. And I told them, you can go. I mean, for me, it wasn't bad. I just stayed one day at the apartment. At that time, it was also good for me. Happy, that I could also stay one day, at the apartment and just not doing much, just trying to relax. Because also, when you have fever, you don't want to do a lot of things. So I also mentioned, like, it's always good to bring with you because you never know when you need it. Of course, it's better to not use it at all, but when you need it, it's sometimes the moments. I think it's good to be prepared for your travel. And at home, it's always good to have when you or in your when you bring your normal bag or handbag with you every day. It's good to have like at least a small package or a few of this paracetamol. You can maybe create like a small bag, this first aid bag. You just put the paracetamol and you're good to go. It's good to have it. You never know. Yeah, we couldn't find it until my mom best friend. She actually went also to Rome, and I didn't know that. And we didn't know, I think. And then she was talking with my best friend, and the day when I needed it, she was so nice. She just came with her, with her family to Rome, and my mom and my best friend's mom, they met each other as well on the day when I got the fever, and she gave paracetamol because I think on this day when I had this fever, the pharmacy was closed. Because this is also good to. Why I also want to mention is that normally supermarkets are open like every single day. It depends. In Slovakia and probably in Belgium and maybe also countries, you have to really check because some days, some festive days, the supermarkets might be closed. So it's always good to be aware, like when you go to another country, to see like what are their opening times and their festive days. So okay, just make sure that you have everything in your house. Just as backup. I spent almost whole day without paracetamol, and for me, I was really lucky when my in the evening, especially in the evening, because in the evening it gets higher the temperature normally than in the morning. So in the morning was fine. Another thing is good to have. This is what my grandfather got, and I'm very grateful for that because I need that. It's a luggage belt charger with more USB ports. It's good for like when you have more phones, or when you have, for example, a tablet, or you have like this power bank. So another thing that I also want to show is power bank. I think there was some discussions going on if you should bring your power bank or not. I think it is possible to bring your power bank as hand luggage, but not in your normal luggage. This is something that you should check before you have your travel by plane to make sure if you can bring it with you or not. Another tip that I want to give you, I don't have like coins right now here, but I think it's always good to carry a little bit of coins and cash, because in some countries, it's harder to pay things by debit card or credit card. It depends on the country as well. I remember when I was in Tenerife, but it's already many years ago. It was quite hard to pin. You always had to get like cash, but that was in 2012. So I think probably now should be fine. I mean, it's 14 years later, but you never know. I think it's always good to just check. Maybe you can always check before you travel, a few weeks before, like what are the, or maybe even a few months, because it really depends on what you need. Like for me, like hey, in Slovakia, I have a lot of things here, so I don't have to bring a lot of things with me, which I'm very grateful for. And as it's also part in Europe and Belgium and the Netherlands as well, then there are not like many like strict regulations going on. For example, I don't need a visa, to be here. Just bring my passport with me, and that's it. But when you, for example, come outside from Europe to Europe, or you are in Europe and you go outside of Europe, even I think maybe to UK, I think there are already some regulations going on. Maybe you need to get like a visa. I don't know. I haven't checked how it is. That's why I think I do recommend you to check those things beforehand, so you don't get surprises that are not so nice when you are at the airport. Actually, there's one classmate, but that's already some years ago. She also said like someone that she knew wanted to go to the States, and she didn't know, her friend probably didn't know that she had to fill in this ESTA formula or something like that. And at the airport, they figured out that they still had to fill in this formulary, but luckily they could still print it. This is a good thing to do when you go somewhere. Make sure that you have some copies if you need it. Sometimes when you want to rent a car, maybe they also want to have a copy of your passport. I think it's good to always bring some copies with you. Just make sure that you don't lose them, or that no one can steal your copy of your passport, because you don't know what the person is going to do with that. And yeah, this is also another tip that I want to give. Like for me, I'm a grandparents' house. I mean, I'm a grandfather's house. I don't have to store things in a locker, luckily. And also when I'm with my family, I don't have to like lock things in a locker, with cash or with laptop or anything like that. I think it's good when you have your passport, or like you can maybe like borrow, then you maybe have to pay more euros of that or dollars or whatever. But I think it can really be a really good thing to store your personal belongings in this locker. It's a pity when people just steal things. People shouldn't steal at all, but some people unfortunately steal things. When I was younger, I was at high school at that time. I remember I wanted to play a game, and I installed a game, and this person, they said, "Oh, you have a free game," so I installed it, and it just took all my credits. I think it was 10 euros. So I got like in Dutch you say opgelicht. Someone just misused me at a time, and yeah, I was not happy with that. So that story, I can say that that happened to me. That when I was at high school, I had this Nokia phone and I saw a game. There was like a special place where you could get like on the internet, but it was on internet on the laptop, on the laptop. So I wanted to put it on my phone, and they said, yeah, it's for free. So I downloaded it, and it took all my credits. So that was really bad. It's also something to always keep to check the small little letters. Maybe I didn't check that properly, but yeah, it was like, wow, they really scammed me. So I do advise you when you go to travel to get these bags for liquids. This like this 1 liter bag. You can also get it at supermarket. You have this 1 liter thing. I think they sometimes also have this logo of your plane, because that saves you a lot of money. Because at the airport, I don't know how much it costs, but probably it's way more expensive than if you buy like a few bags at the supermarket. And it's good to have a few of them, because some of the bags they can also break. And it already happened once to me that one bag actually broke, and luckily I had one more. But yeah, if I didn't have one, then I couldn't bring my liquids with me. Sure to check your expiration date of your passport or visa, because in some countries I think it should be like at least 6 months